Hello friends, Running Kimono here, and I was not intending on making a Saturday video, but I wanted to share this because, a lot of times I make videos or show stuff on TikTok, Instagram, and I'm like, hey, you got all this stuff for $3, la 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 la, and today there was a bit of a dust up at one of the Dollar Generals I went to with myself and a cashier. So I know that some of you enjoy these sort of talks, and not every time you go to the Dollar General it's a walk in the park, so I wanted to share this just to give you the other side of it. So a friend of mine is having a yard sale today, and I wanted to go and support and maybe buy a little something just to help out. And the drive was about 2 hours from my home. So it was a bit of a sojourn, a little bit of a journey. So, what I had to do was figure out a route where there were some Dollar Generals, because some of the digitals today are really good. And Saturday is the day that when the digitals are hot, I hit a bunch of Dollar Generals to do deals. And, you can get a $25 basket. I got it down to $2. It was really spectacular. Digital only. So again, TikTok or Instagram in the notes if you want to follow me there. I post it all there. I don't usually make videos on Saturday. First store that I went to, super rural. I think I went there once before to use the bathroom. I didn't even buy anything. But today I looked around and I noticed that the store had a ton of stuff. They had a ton of summer stuff from that clearance event a couple weeks back. They had just a lot of stuff, a lot of merchandise, a lot of the goods that everybody's looking for. And nobody was in the store. Remember all that food that was on clearance? It was really super uber cheap last week. Look how much they still have. And there was so much. And this is one of two things. Either just there's two Dollar Generals in the area, and one they're shopping at, one they're not because it's a newer store. Or the store is not really nice and people just don't shop there. So one or the other, it was one of those. So anyhow, guys, I just did a really simple 5 off of 25 basket, and I did it twice. And even though I was looking for one laundry care item, they still had the elusive Olay bar soap. So I was like, with that alone, I think I can make a couple deals happen. And I wanted to do a bunch of store cards today. So I called in favors, my in-laws. I used their accounts, and I used my account, my husband's account. But at the store, I was only going to do two because I was still looking for other little bibs and bobs to really make the deal sing. And I couldn't find it at this one store. So I get up to the front cash, and the cashier is speaking to a customer, and they're talking really loudly about some legal issues of somebody being in jail, and just all of the details of a case, and talking about it very, very loudly, where I am just socially distancing and behind, waiting for my turn, and this just keeps going on. And of course the ladies are chatting, so I'm not going to be like, ahem, what about me? I just was quiet, and I just let them finish because they seem to know each other, and I'm not going to just hop in and be rude that way because, honestly, if I was a little bit late to my friend's yard sale, not at the biggest deal. So I let them finish up. I'm trying to be polite. And then finally, about 10 minutes later, the customer turns around, sees me, and she's like, okay, I guess it was her friend, the cashier. She said, I will see you later, and, we'll talk about this later. And she was talking really loud, pretty much everybody in the front end of the store could hear this conversation. And I thought it was a super uber personal conversation that people shouldn't have been listening to it for what they were discussing. It was very sensitive stuff. But I just, whatever, I was on my phone on TikTok, just trying to not pay attention. So my turn finally happens, and I put my basket, which is all this stuff, and this is a 100% digital deal. I was going to use both my husband, and I have a friend's card that I was going to use. My friend doesn't really shop at the Dollar General, but I gift her a lot of stuff, so she's like, yeah, you can use it whenever you want. So I was using those two numbers, 2 transactions, that's it, in and out. They had so much merchandise, guys. This place was Candyland. So I did the first transaction, and I think it was just under $3, and the cashier saw that I did it 100% with digitals. I didn't present a single paper coupon. It was all digital. And then so after that transaction, the cashier saw it, and she's like, okay, well, just to let you know, at this location, we're not going to let you get away with this. And then she used an S word with 3 letters following it, profanity, and SH, figure out the rest. And I just looked at her and I was like, oh, that's some interesting language. And I said, okay, well, if it's one, then we'll just do the one transaction And then she's like, we have signage on our door saying that you can only use one store card per person per day at this location, and you're not going to push this today. And this location, again, I think I used the bathroom there once. Like, I don't really ever go there. And I was really surprised. She had a real attitude from go with me. And then she said that there was another lady that mysteriously showed up an hour before and she had her basket like brimming to the top with 10 different transactions, and that she was not going to let her get away with that. But just on this one occasion, she would let me do 2 transactions, but the other lady, no, because she was being greedy. And I looked at her, I'm like, well, if the policy is 1, I think we should probably follow that. I'll just pay for the 1. And you know what? I'm creative enough that even if half the stuff isn't even in stock at a different store, I'll be able to figure something else on the fly, you know. And just the level of like, you know, I get that, you know, there's probably some people that aren't so great, couponers that are aggressive or whatever, but I'm not that case. And if the answer is no, it's no. And so immediately the fact that I said, hey, we'll just do the 1 then, and I'll volunteer to put everything back, no problem. She's like, let's do the second one. And I'm like, what the heck is this? You know, this is weird. I did the second transaction. She let me do it. And that was it. And I just wonder, like, what the deal was. Obviously, you know, I think a lot of you that go to the Dollar General, it's not a lot of fun. And I experienced that today. And it was just really bizarre. So on my way out of the store, I thanked her, and, you know, it was decent enough. She let me do a second transaction, even though I got the speech. And I'm not the person going into that store as well, so I'm not sure what she meant by that, but it was just one of those sort of things of, you know, the mysterious person with 10. I think the mysterious person with 10 was totally fictional. And then the sign on the door about like 1 card per customer per day, I looked on the door and I saw a thing about the modified store hours, about wearing a mask, and about 50% summer clearance from last weekend, that signage. There was nothing written like that. So I think she was making this off the top of her head. And it was just really bizarre. And I have a friend, again, that lives in the area. I'm like, have you ever been to this newer store? She's like, no, never. And it was bizarre. Like, I don't know what the story is there, but I just thought it was somewhat humorous. I just wanted to share it with you guys because I've heard a couple of you, you know, you really get into it with the different employees. The best thing to do, my advice would be, like, if they say this is how it is, you say, okay, that's fine, and just do the 1 transaction and leave. You can always figure something out differently or do a different deal. But it's not worth your time or effort to sit there and fight and just, you know, raise your blood pressure at, like, you know, 9 o'clock in the morning. It's just totally not worth it. Just keep things light and breezy and easy. And, you know, you'll always find some stuff at a different store or a place where you can do the deals. And if it's just the 1, you can go to a store down the street. There's always, like, every 10 miles a Dollar General. Let me know what you guys think, and if you've ever had a really bad dust up, please leave it in the comments. I would love to read it. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!